My friend Jake made a joke after a girl asked why they never slept together. Yo, I need to tell you a story about how one joke destroyed my group of friends, split it right down the middle, and basically turned our lives into some kind of high school drama series. And here I am, smack in the middle of it, laughing at the absurdity, but also kind of crying on the inside. Buckle up, because it's gonna be a wild ride. First off, let me introduce the key players. Me, your humble narrator, the one who's trying to survive this social apocalypse. You'll hear from me a lot because, trust me, I have thoughts. Jake, my best friend and, well, the guy who unintentionally detonated the social bomb. Lisa, the girl with a crush on Jake, aka the reason everything went downhill. Group A, our original friend group. We've all known each other for years, bonded over stupid stuff like gaming, Netflix binges, and Taco Tuesdays. Group B, the faction that split off after the joke. They now treat us like we're the villains of the story. Now, Lisa had this huge crush on Jake, and I mean huge. It wasn't a secret, the entire friend group knew about it. We had all hoped Jake would maybe, eventually, kindly let her down easy. Spoiler alert, he did not. So one evening, we're all hanging out at my place, and Lisa, who had clearly worked up the courage, asks Jake something out of the blue. Hey Jake, why didn't we ever, hook up? First of all, who asks that in front of a group of people? I remember sitting there mid-sip of my beer, about to spit it out, like, girl, read the room. Jake, bless his socially awkward soul, freezes. You can literally see his brain stalling like an old computer. Then, because Jake's sense of humor is 50% sarcasm and 50% I don't know how to respond, he blurts out, I didn't sleep with you because I didn't want to get STDs. Oh my god. Cue the silence. I'm talking the kind of silence where you can hear a pin drop, followed by the sound of Lisa's heart breaking into a million little pieces. She looked like she'd just been hit by a truck. I wanted to die for her. But also, let's be real here, it was hilarious. And I'm not going to apologize for laughing because, come on, it's Jake. He didn't mean it seriously, or maybe he did. Who knows at this point? Anyway, Lisa storms out, and the mood in the room shifts from we're all having a good time to this is the end of civilization as we know it. In the days that followed, Lisa did what any rational person would do. She went on a campaign to destroy Jake's reputation. She started telling everyone who would listen that Jake was a sexist pig who humiliated her in front of everyone. Never mind the fact that she asked the question in front of everyone in the first place. Logic, right? Within a week, our friend group, which had been solid for years, started to crack like a dry piece of toast. People began taking sides. Some sided with Lisa, saying Jake's joke was out of line. Others like myself just wanted to stay out of the drama, but it didn't take long before we were all dragged into it. Group A, the sane ones stayed with Jake because we knew him and we knew the joke was his awkward way of handling an uncomfortable situation. Group B formed around Lisa and became this toxic alliance of people who either wanted to get with her or just hated Jake for no apparent reason. Let me tell you, trying to navigate this civil war in our friend group was like trying to cross a minefield with a blindfold on. Every time I tried to hang out with someone from Group B, they'd act all weird and passive-aggressive. Suddenly, I was the enemy because I wasn't condemning Jake's joke hard enough. Newsflash, I'm not Jake's mom, and he doesn't need me to scold him. The joke wasn't great, but neither was Lisa's overreaction. But no, it got better. Lisa wasn't content with just trashing Jake. Oh no! She started going after all of us who stuck by him, saying we were enabling his toxic behavior. Girl, what behavior? The guy made one bad joke in a stressful situation. I've seen him cry at dog commercials, okay? The final straw came when someone from Group B, let's call him Kevin because, of course, his name is Kevin, posted a long, dramatic message in our group chat that was basically a declaration of independence from Jake and anyone associated with him. He wrote, "It's clear that some of us can no longer be part of a group that tolerates such disgusting humor. If you stand with Jake, you're standing with someone who has no respect for women, and we cannot be friends anymore." Yeah, Kevin, real Shakespearean stuff there. Group B immediately left the chat and created their own exclusive hangout group. No joke, they called themselves the Clean Slate Crew. How pretentious is that? What is this? A cult? After the split, it was like living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Group A and Group B became two separate factions that could barely stand to be in the same room together. We used to have these epic game nights with everyone, but now it was like walking on eggshells. If you invited one group, you couldn't invite the other. Honestly, this situation should have been the most ridiculous thing ever, because it is, but the petty drama kept escalating. Lisa turned into some kind of queen bee in Group B, and she loved holding her little court of Jake haters. Every time they hung out, there were social media posts with captions like, "Some people aren't worth the drama," or "Real friends lift you up, not tear you down." Meanwhile, Jake, who by the way was oblivious to the level of social destruction he had caused, was just trying to play Call of Duty in peace. The guy didn't even realize how many bridges were burned until one day he showed up to one of our regular bars and half of our old group straight up ignored him. I had to pull him aside and explain that, yeah, he's basically Voldemort to them now. Jake's reaction? "Oh, well, that's dumb." Understatement of the century, buddy. The funniest part of this whole saga is that Group B, for all their moral high ground and "we're better than you" vibes, wasn't as pure as they thought. Word started getting around that Lisa, the same girl who had thrown a fit about Jake's joke, was, let's say, not exactly saintly in her own behavior. It came out that she was trying to hook up with one of the guys from Group B. Let's call him Mike. Despite knowing full well that he was dating someone else. Classic, right? Of course, Mike's girlfriend, who was, surprise surprise, in Group B, found out and flipped her lid. Drama erupted over there, and before you knew it, people from Group B started switching sides. Yep, they came crawling back. A couple of the guys who had ditched us, like Mike, started quietly reaching out to Jake and me, saying stuff like, "Hey, maybe we overreacted. No kidding, Sherlock." At first, Jake was like, "Nah, they can stay on their side," but eventually, I convinced him to be the bigger person. Mike and a few others rejoined our crew, and honestly, I don't blame them. Life on Team Jake was way more fun and way less hypocritical. Besides, I wasn't about to let Lisa's manipulations turn us into total enemies. Update! So where are we now? It's been a few months since the great joke debacle, and things have mellowed out. Group A is still strong, and we've actually picked up some of the people who left Group B. The irony, they all admit now that Lisa was blowing everything out of proportion. Even Kevin, Mr. Declaration of Independence, has kept his distance from Lisa after seeing her true colors. As for Jake and Lisa, they don't speak anymore, which is probably for the best. Jake is still the same sarcastic, slightly clueless dude, but I think he's learned his lesson about making jokes like that in certain situations. And Lisa, well, she's moved on to another friend group entirely, and last I heard, they're not doing so great either. To be honest, I've learned a lot from this whole thing. Like, never underestimate how far one bad joke can go in causing a social rift, but also, sometimes the people who act the most offended are the ones with the most to hide. Also, maybe don't ask someone why they didn't sleep with you in front of an audience, just a thought. Anyway, life goes on, and we're better off without the drama. If anyone's wondering, Taco Tuesdays are back on track, and we're all having a blast. Cheers to surviving the dumbest friend group fallout in history.